Okay, welcome back to Gamechanger. So, last week I dropped this video. It was just the clipper sounds. It was more of a satisfaction video of the process of me cutting hair. I want you all to watch and just enjoy that process. So this week I actually break down, this video I actually break down the haircut. Read through the comments, got a few questions. I think I'm going to do this more often, like just drop the video, sound, haircut, and then let you all ask questions, and then I'll kind of address some of those questions. So first thing you do, you saw me comb the hair. You want to comb through the hair versus brushing it. Combing it helps space the hair out, so when you cut, you can actually cut the hair in the growth pattern, in the pattern that it grows. When you use that comb, you can kind of look and visually see, okay, the hair grows this way, I'll cut it this way. So some people brush their hair opposite of what it grows. You want to cut the hair the way it grows, and then in turn you can brush it back or style it how they want it to look. So if you see right here in the swirl in the middle, I'm looking at the angle, so now I come in a different angle with my clipper. Now while I'm doing this, while I'm cutting the hair down, I'll address a few questions. First question, why do I use multiple clippers? Well, there's no great reason. I'll just give you my kind of view on it. You don't need it is what I meant to say. But me, I just like preferences. It keeps it fine for me, and some clippers have different motors, different blades. So some clippers have a surgical blade. What's a surgical blade? A surgical blade, if you look at the back of the clipper, the back of the comb blade on the clipper is very flat. A flat back surface is a surgical blade. A blade with a bit of a ridge or a dip that looks kind of like a claw, that's a non-surgical blade, right? So different clippers have different blades. That's why. On my, I think I use the Gamma clippers on here. They have a surgical blade on them. But my Babyliss FX, which is the other gold clipper, they don't have a surgical blade. Then the motors, and some clippers are smoother, some are louder. I just cut off a vibe and feel. You know what I'm saying? It's just like asking Kyrie why he used different crossovers. It depends on what the situation calls for. He probably could use the same move multiple times, but sometimes you just want to get a little saucy and change it up, so you don't need multiple clippers. I'm doing a ball fade, but the way my client's head is contoured or shaped, you might see like a little drop in the back, but I'm actually going to fade it out evenly. I just want to show you that. And I'm also, he's not going to keep the curves on the temple, but the reason why I had those curves in the temple is because he has a narrow edge up on the side, so it gives me more space to work. Now he's getting a 2-1 top, but right now what I'm doing is I'm debulking with the grain with my 1 guard. If you watch any of my other tutorials, you'll know what debulking is. It's basically when you thin the hair out and make the hair lighter. Debulking helps with, it makes the hair easier to fade. So you'll see, these are my 2, okay, so let's talk about this. I got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time, so you can rewind and listen, so I'm gonna talk a little fast. The 2-line method, I do a primary line and a secondary line. The lines, as you know what a line is. The first line, which is the primary line, is from the skin to the light hair. The secondary line is from the dark hair to the light hair. Now, the primary section is the light hair. The secondary section is the dark hair. The reason why I do this is, for one, it adds symmetry to the haircut because I make sure that the lines and the spaces are even on both sides. I do about an inch or inch and a half, depending on how I work that space. And then after I do that, I start to fade it. But that makes it easier. Like I said, the lighter the area, the easier the fade. So I'll blend this light section. I don't take it away. I don't cut it away. I just blend it. Then the secondary section, I'll debulk probably with the 2, 1.5, 1, etc. And it'll gradually fade or blend into the top of the hair. That's the basic science behind my method and why it works so great, in my opinion, and everybody else who likes my videos. Alright, so another great question I got. Hi, Gamechanger. So when I do my primary section, the light section, on some of my clients with thinner hair, on the side, everything disappears. The primary line disappears and the fade just goes higher and higher. What should I do? Great question. We talked about this before, but not with thinning clients. See the section I'm working right now? If you don't actually fade it in, it'll actually just run into the next section and it'll cause a chili bowl. Now, when you have a client with thinner hair in the primary section, great question. So I've had this problem. What you do is, instead of creating the primary section with no guard and your lever all the way open on your masters or whatever clippers you use a 1 guard. Because now the hair is still thin, but a 1 guard keeps the hair thicker or lets the hair stay longer. So What thinning is a density issue. So if the hair is less dense and you use a lighter a clipper with no guard, it makes it look really, really light or faint or even non-existent. So what I'll do is I'll add a 1 guard on there for my primary section, and that helps the problem. So now what you're doing now is that primary section is a 1 guard. You start the fade with the 1 guard out, and you work from the 1 guard down. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, comment again, and I'll kind of try to break it down more or even make a video on it. Now, great question, by the way. Another question was levers. How do you know which lever to use? Open, close, etc., etc. Honestly, that's one of those things. It comes with time. If you notice, I don't ever look at the lever because it's muscle memory. I've been doing this for 12 years, and I would suggest a bad habit is learning to look at the lever every time you need to change it. It can make, believe me, because that's a choppy motion. It's not flowing, and what happens is your fade can be choppy because your fade will look like the lever or level that the lever is at. Tongue twister. So starting off, you can kind of look, but I want you to start to practice with, hey, this feels open. Let me open it all the way and slightly close it. So gradually work the open and close, and eventually you will kind of master the lever. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. All right, so what you all are seeing me do right now is debulk. I went from the 2. Now I'm going to the 1.5, and after that I'm using the 1. He has a great texture of hair. Density is not very dense. Usually the easiest hair to cut is dense hair, thick hair. When you cut clowns like this with kind of thinner hair, this hair is not really thin, but it's spacious. It's not very dense. It's easier to mess up, so it takes time. You have to work your stroke motions. If you notice, most of the clipper work is in my wrist, not so much my hand, right? So if you stroke the clipper, it'll give you a much smoother outlook. And again, a lot of these steps and tips that I'm talking about takes time. Look at the comb work. I'm using the comb. I'm not using the brush because it helps space the hair out. Do you see how the secondary section is light now? I'm gonna probably do a full video on like debulking, but it's very important. I remember I mentioned it. 2, 1.5, 1. A slogan that I use is the lighter the area, the easier to fade. Lighter the area, easier to fade. Okay? Now what I'll do is I'll come back with no guard after. This is the 1 guard right here. I'll come back with the 1 guard, the no guard, and blend this all the way in. All right, see, it's a lot of just debulking. It takes time though. I think a lot of, and this is a tutorial, but I'm also just giving details and notes on on some of the problems I see with people when they cut or barbers. You have to stick to one method, right? This 2-line method can transition to any type of haircut. And what I've done over the years is I've mastered it. Yes, I can cut different ways. I can cut with no guidelines. I can cut in the reverse way, but why? When you master something, why change it? All right, do you see how this fade literally blended in right before your eyes? No editing tricks, no, just straight cutting. What I'm doing right here is the reverse tiger claw method is what I call it. I'm putting the blade of the clipper closer to the scalp, which gives for a closer cut. That's one of the ways that I use to get rid of the line that I created with my masters. I'm sorry, the line that I created with my trimmers. I apologize. Now you see, I remember how first off along the temple, that guideline was below the arch, and that's pretty much non-existent. And also, remember I started below the occipital bone, and now the fade gradually grew up over that. It just takes time and steps. So I guess this is more of a tips video. I kind of broke down the method, and I'll deep delve into it on another video. Right here, see what I'm doing? I'm using the corner of the blade. Remember, you want to be able to utilize the whole clipper, not at one time in separate parts, right? The clipper is a weapon. The better you can use it, and the more ways that you can use one clipper, the better off you'll be. This is called notching. I hit little spots, tap, 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 tap. After I get I'm making sound effects. After I get the secondary line in, after I get that secondary line faded in nicely, I'll come back and notch it. Okay, this is thicker here, this is thinner here, and boom. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. What I'm doing now is taking the 1 rag and I'm adding it to the hair. Why? Because it swells the cuticles, which is the outer layer of the hair. So now it helps me manipulate the hair, lay it how I need to lay it. Then I put the shave gel on its edge up, which I'm coming out on my own soon. I'm very excited. We're in the lab working on something to get it perfectly. I'm super excited about that. And that shave gel is going to actually, so Let me slow down because I'm kind of in the mix right now. I'm saying a lot. The shave gel is very important. I love using that because it's see-through, it's transparent, so you can see where you're edging. And I add quite a bit. And I saw some comments, why are you so rough? I just like getting the gel in there. It looked rougher than I really am. It's not as rough. So now, why do I add so much shave gel? Because it's weighted. The more gel, the heavier it is on the hair. He has very curly hair. So if I put light gel on there, then it'll curl back. But the heavier gel, the more gel I put on there, the heavier the application, the more the hair lays there, and I can edge it up and I can style it the way I want to. And also, if you look at my off thumb, which is my left hand, I'm stretching the skin. I'm pulling his skin towards his eyebrow. When you tighten the skin, it makes it easier for the razor to work. You want to kind of come at about a 45, 60 degree angle. When you angle the blade, it makes it easier for that razor, the razor tip on the blade to cut. All right, so I know I pretty much didn't talk to this whole video, so I might as well just keep talking. How y'all day been? You had a good day? My day was pretty good too. It's early. About to knock this video out for y'all. I'm also dropping another video tonight. I'm not playing with y'all. My plan is to drop a video every day. That's what I'm saying. I want y'all to hold me accountable. Now what I'm doing is taking the razor and I'm cleaning up the temple. It gives the illusion that the fade is bald when really there's little light hairs around, but it's just an illusion. The haircut is an illusion, right? Where the client has density issues. How do you manipulate that? We'll have a video on that too. So you all watch that, and I'll be back in literally like a few seconds. All right, another question I got that I received. What type of shears are those? I literally don't know. They're super cheap. I think somebody gave them to me when I was in barber school over like 12, 13 years ago, and I've been rocking with them ever since. I know, right? I have fun fact, only one finger is moving when I'm cutting with the shears, and that's my thumb. Everything else is stationary. And I move my hand along the scalp, the contour of the scalp, of the skull, and I give it a nice finish cleanup. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think I did a pretty good job. If you like it, share, subscribe, comment. New video coming tonight. Stay tuned about 7 to 8 p.m. We're gonna turn up.